G'day, Ben from Duck Plain Chicken here with something a little bit different. So I recently got a delivery from Hobbylink Japan and they had these sets on special. So these are a series of spaceships from the series Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which was a series released in the mid-80s. I know there was a remake. I haven't seen the remake, but I certainly enjoyed the original series. And what I loved about it was the design of the spacecraft in it. You know, really quite interesting sort of designs. Now, anyone who's been a long time watcher of this channel will also know that I like really small versions of spaceships, like the Yamato Mecha Collet stuff. So this kind of is a little bit different in the fact that it's not a kit. They're actually a series of figures. So this is the Fleet File collection number 1R. I'm not sure what the R means. I don't know if that means re-release. Now there are a lot of these sets, and Hobbylink Japan had them on special, so I went a bit nuts and I bought like 9 of the sets. So I've got a few to show if you're interested. This is the first one that I'm going to show just for this particular video. But if you are interested in sort of seeing the other sets I have, let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to post more videos about them. So as far as the presentation of this stuff goes, you can lift open the lid and you can see these little models in here. Now I will get them out to give you a closer look at those, but it's just beautifully presented. The other thing that's really nice, they give you this kind of beautiful illustration on the inside of the box. So there's the Brunhild there. So let's open this up. Alright. So you get this cardboard insert with a bunch of highly reflective plastic trays, and it looks like you get the bases and, well, that's interesting, some sort of book. Alright, we'll have to have a look at that. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, so first let's have a look at the craft themselves. Oh wow, these things are stunning. Absolutely stunning. So my understanding is that they're resin, so they're solid cast. So I won't be putting any lights in these, but check out that detail for that sort of scale. That is just gorgeous. Really highly detailed for something at this this sort of size. So I'll take you through each of the ships, give you an idea. And I mean, these things are tiny, but the level of detail looks like really good sort of quality printing. So the decals on there. That is, and the thing is, in the series, these ships are enormous. Okay, one of the Allied ships. Yeah, even got the designation number on there. Really beautiful detail in there. Yeah, wow. Even the engines are sort of painted in. So to give you an idea of size, what I might do is I'll bring in one of the Mecha Collet kits that I've built, so you get an idea of sort of how small these things are. But first, let's have a look at Brunhild. It's the one I'm probably most excited about. Well, it looks like we've had a bit of an accident here. Don't want to bend that in case it's so it looks as though these fins, one of them sort of been bent out of shape. But look at that detail, look at that. The underside of it. Yeah, these are really phenomenal. Alright, so here we have Mecha Collar kit. So for a size comparison, you can see how tiny these things are. Like they're just, you know, a lot smaller than the sort of Mecha Collar stuff I've been doing in the past. But they're immaculate. Alright, the next bit is we get some, wow, we actually get some sprues by the look of it. So I suspect these are for some added details for some of the craft, and then we get the stands. That's nice. So the stands do come with the names of the ships on them. That's a nice touch. They're big, long bases. And then we get this booklet. Alright, so that's sealed in plastic. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so let's have a look at the book that comes with it. We get, it's got a bit of backing cardboard on it. But let's have a look at what's in here. I assume it's sort of instructions of, so we get details on each of the craft. Okay, so yep, there's some instructions of which bits you need to add to which ships, and also how to mount the base. And then you're given a whole lot of details about each of the ships. And so you can see here that, I mean, this is how big these ships are. So the Brunhild is essentially a kilometre long. It's a big ship. Yep, lots of sort of detail. Of course, if you don't read Japanese, you can always sort of translate just using Google Translate or something like that. But it's a nice touch. They provide. It would have been nicer if this was sort of in colour, but I guess they were trying to keep the cost down. That's a nice little touch. I didn't expect to have that in there. Some sort of information about the spaceships themselves, so it's good. Alright, so the next step for me is to basically assemble these things, put them together, and put them on their little display stands. Before I go into showing the glamour shots of these, I just want to pick out a few things. Now, these are not toys. They are incredibly fragile, and there was a couple of times where I was a bit nervous that I was going to break the peg that the ships are sort of mounted on for the stand. So you need to be very, very careful with these things. The other thing is there is some assembly. So a couple of the ships actually have sort of detail parts, and I want to talk about those. So first of all, if we talk about the Allied ships, so this little piece here needs to be inserted underneath the ship, and you can see it's sort of three little fins there. Now these come on a sprue. This thing is tiny. So you can see this one on the left hand side, so it's got a dab of paint on it, and you can see the other two that I've cut out already. Now thankfully you get a couple of spares, so if you sort of break them, because these are really fiddly. So there's two of those for the Allied ships that you have to do. Now for the Schwarztiegel, there are these black fins that sort of go down the sides here. So this one, and actually probably first shot on the back. So these two fins that sort of hang down. They also come on a sprue, and thankfully they've given you spares so that you know, if you mess up one, you can use the others. Now, one thing when you're cutting these off the sprue, they will leave a little bit of a stress mark, a little bit of white on the black. So I just use a Gundam marker just to patch it up. Like if you're using a very sharp knife, it'll be very minimal. It's literally just a dot on there to fix that up. And then finally, probably the worst bit of the assembly is these fins that go on the back. They're actually separate pieces, and they're actually not down as far as they should do. They should press right into the holes, but the fit is really tight and it's sort of difficult to push down on them without breaking them. Now with these ones, there's only one sprue of this, so if you break any of these, you're kind of out of luck. So keep that in mind, you know, if you're actually sort of assembling these. The other thing is too, looking at it in a lot closer up, you can see that there are some sort of, you know, they're pretty minor, but there's some issues with the wash that they've applied. Sometimes it's a little bit untidy. Which you'd kind of expect for this price. I mean, it's not supposed to be a high-end model, but you know, yeah. The other thing is too, with the stands, they've got this sort of insert piece. I don't know, it came with that in there, and kind of looks a bit rough, I reckon, given that you know, you're just using the stand at the back. I don't know, maybe other sets they use the 2 slots, but it just seems like a bit of a cop-out. I don't know why they didn't just make it smooth, because the you know, the names of the ships there, that's actually screen printed on the plastic, so it's really nice. It's not sort of a decal or anything, so I don't know why they've bothered with this sort of, there's nothing in the instructions about it, so I'm not sure why that's the case. If you know, I'd love to hear about it. And of course the you know, if we have a closer look at sort of the Brunhild, there is a bit of an issue with those fins at the back. They're not necessarily aligned, but it's pretty minor given the yeah, the price of these things. And they do look awesome when they're sort of you know, all together, all lined up. Okay, on to the glamour shots, and until next time, I'll catch you later.